So we'll continue on with another feature here that's pretty common that people want to deal with and showing me their new skills in Java, and that's a power-up. So I'm going to use the star that Mario normally gets. And basically, I'll just put this in the game somewhere and show you that when Mario touches it, I'll give him some new ability. Now, you can give him all kinds of different things to do, but at the moment, what I'm going to do is make the strength which his fireball damages much stronger. So that'll be the superpower he gets for the time being. So there's a few things that I'm going to need to do in here with Mario first of all. So the first thing I'm going to do in here is make that fireball strength. Now, last time I had left it as that magic number, and again, it's just reinforcing why this is a bad design. If you do that, is I believe I had it at 1 before. So his fireball strength down here was 1. Now I have to go update this way, whereas it would have already been done for me had I done this properly. But anyway, now in order to allow access for other classes to change this for me, I'm going to actually say public void set fireball strength. You give me the strength, and I will now make that my new fireball strength for Mario. So fireball strength equals the strength you give me. Someone may also want to take the current strength and add something to it. So they need to be able to ask for that. So get fireball strength is just going to return that information. Okay, so this is just, again, so that power-ups that I touch can affect me the way I want. And again, it could be speed. Maybe you want to make Mario move faster. Maybe you want to give him like anti-gravity. Whatever effect it is, you need to be able to let other classes communicate that somehow. Okay, now the other thing is a power-up is not a persistent thing in most games. So I'll show you the way that we'll do it. And it's going to look similar to the countdown timer, the explosion that I did in the fireball. So that's what I'm going to have here is a private int power up counter. And this time when Mario starts, the power up counter is going to be 0. So this means it's run out. The power up is over. And when somebody has a power up for me, I want them to be able to change that. So I'm going to say public void set power up. So you tell me how much time I have to use it. So in this particular case, I'm going to go power up counter is equal to the time that you gave me. Now, if you think ahead a little bit, there are other ways to manage this. And again, just to be clear, we're not looking at a ton of design in terms of object-oriented and all the other layers we could add to your first project. Basically, we want to look at the way you manage your logic, your if-else statements, those operators, that kind of stuff. So if you look ahead and you think, how am I going to reset this, then we definitely need a method for that. So let's just have a reset so that Mario's abilities go back to the beginning. And if you want to know what they were at the beginning, well, they're actually up here. So I'm going to grab Mario's code, and I'm going to say, okay, this is how you reset a Mario character. You do this. Now you'll notice that I cut it from the constructor because I might as well use it in my constructor. I've gone to the trouble of making this method, and this will be where I'll call it. So now whenever I need to do this process, I have a method that does it, and I don't have to track it down in several places. Okay, so when we act now, this is what we want to know is if the power up counter has expired, so that means it's less than or equal to 0, then we need to reset Mario's abilities to be just regular Mario. And now that I'm looking at what I'm doing in my code here, I believe what I'm going to do instead is have a method for it rather than, you know, pollute all this stuff up. So I think what I'm going to call it is process power up. Okay, so let's talk about what Mario does after he's been given some superpower. Public void process power up. So either way, this means he's going to have to count it down. So power up counter needs to be decremented. Then we need to check if the power up counter is less than or equal to 0. This is where we'll call upon that reset of whatever super strength or whatever he's been given, speed, whatever. In this case, I'm going to have the star give him some extra strength to his weapon, the fireball. All right, so again, this one for now is just an example. You might have a better way of designing it, and we can certainly talk about better ways that programmers do this, but one thing at a time, I suppose. So here's what I'll do with the star. Oops, maybe I can grab it. Yeah, there we go. Didn't mean to hit compile, and as you know, that's going to take 10 minutes now to do it. So when the star acts, basically what I want to know is if it's touching Mario, then I'm going to give him this special feature. So here's another way we can do that collision detection. So I'll go Mario M equals new Mario, sorry, not a new Mario. We're going to ask the world to get one intersecting object from the Mario class. Okay, and remember, as an object, I have to tell Java this particular object is a Mario, or I'm going to have an error in my code. Now, if Mario is not touching this star, then it's going to return null. Now, before what I said here was if it's touching Mario, so this is kind of the equivalent sequence. Sorry, we want to see if it's not null. We can process this. So if Mario is not null, then that means I have this Mario's location. I can do things to him now. I'm going to say Mario.set fireball strength. And here's a new little trick for you. One of the constants in Java is integer's max value. It's the largest integer you can represent with an int. So basically, it's just going to annihilate. It's like infinity, you guess you could think about. It's going to annihilate anything in its way. Okay. Now, although it's been nice that we gave this to Mario, we didn't actually power him up. So we have to say here Mario dot, and it's just escaped me for a second here. Let's see what the method name I gave it was. Set power up. So I'll go Mario dot set power up, and maybe I'm going to make it 200 act cycles. So for 200 acts, he has this invincible weapon. It's also possible, in case you're curious, you could have had Mario manage that when he touches a star, this is what a star could do. Again, at the moment, I'm not as concerned about those aspects of your design as I am about the logic and how you use it in your game. So let's give this a try and see what happens here. I can actually ask Mario. I can say, okay, Mario, what's your strength? So let's find out. We can say get fireball strength, and it should be 1 because he was just built. And then I'm going to go over and touch the star, and then we'll ask the same question again. And then we can shoot one of the paratroopers, and it should disappear immediately. All right, so there we go. Now let's run Super Mario, and I'll go over here. And all right. So now that we're touching it, I'll go and ask Mario, what's your fireball strength now? So now it's this enormous number. A little more than 2 billion is the strength of it. So if I now go and chase down one of those paratroopas, I'll be able to say sayonara with a single fireball. Which, believe it or not, oh, there it is. Okay. So that's the thought around the power-up. And of course here, one other thing you might have just noticed was that the star should probably remove itself from the world. So now that I've done that, I can say get world dot remove object this, and that way Mario can only touch it once in the game. So I'll just recompile it for you so you can see that same behavior, but now the power-up will probably do what you want, which is where it disappears after you've picked it up. Okay, so we'll put this into the game, which of course you could do inside the level. You could do it somewhere inside the world there, but let's go pick up our power-up now. And there. So it's disappeared, and right now I can see what its strength is, and then I'll speed up. Well, who knows if this computer will speed up, but I'll speed up the Greenfoot engine and see if it'll get it to the point where you can see it's restored. So there it is with that absurdly large strength. We'll run it now, and I'll speed it up a whole bunch. So we'll just get things moving here. And let's hope that that's been enough time that, well, I mean, you can see it's been frozen up here for a good chunk of that. So, okay, let's give this a try and see if we're actually back to normal now. And there you go. So the power-up expired, and we're back to normal strength. Okay. So there's other ways you could use your power-ups or how you could affect things in the game. And again, feel free to ask me about them, but that's the basic concept behind how you could add that feature to yours.